Put on your hard hat and buckle up that tool belt. It's time for some heavy-duty conversation about all things Tampa Bay. Welcome to Tommy's Toolbox, the podcast, Season 2. I'm Tommy Whitehead, the CEO and founder of TomCo Solutions. We're not just construction and financial experts, but passionate advocates about our thriving community here in Tampa, Florida. As a construction pro and proud Tampa Bay resident, I'm excited to shine a spotlight on our region. Whether you're a longtime resident or considering a move to Tampa Bay, get ready to uncover some hidden gems and fascinating insights about our beloved hometown. Sitting with me at the drafting table today is Anthony Mason, the Manager of Philanthropic Giving at the Florida Aquarium. Join us as we dive into the latest updates from the Florida Aquarium and discover valuable insights on cultivating relationships, whether with animals or business partners. Learn about crucial role of emphasizing philanthropy within an organization and how we can dive into meaningful change. Welcome, Anthony. How are you doing today?
Well, so far, things are going swimmingly.
This is going to be a long podcast, I can tell.
I think we need to offer an advanced apology to everyone that I feel like there's going to be a lot of puns today.
That's Tommy's Toolbox officially apologizes for all the fish puns.
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me, Tommy.
Oh, well, it's exciting. So I don't know if you know this, but I actually went to the Florida Aquarium as a kid when it first opened in the 90s. So I recently, that's 30 years ago, and I was a kid probably in 4th, 5th, 6th grade, something like that. And I remember, the opening year doing that. And so seeing what you guys are doing over there is wow.
Yeah, I love that type of story. I love hearing that from people. To me, aquariums, zoos, they're wonderful places, and the Florida Aquarium is a place for family and children to go, and that's incredible.
So Anthony, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you originally from?
Yeah, I'm originally from a little town in Nebraska called Plattsmouth, a little bit south of Omaha, and so I grew up there, and that's where I kind of fell in love with the zoo world, the aquarium world, going to my local zoo when I was a kid, having those, going on those field trips, pushing my grandma around in a wheelchair there at the zoo, like that was very, very fond memories for me, and really helped, connect me with nature and with these animals that I'd never have the opportunity to see. And my wife, I met her a few years back, both working in the in the same field in the zoological world, and her family's from here in the Tampa area, and so we moved back last year to be closer to family.
Oh, that's great that you have so many fond experiences around your career. Many of us we kind of go to work and we might meet some cool people, but you actually have very, very prominent childhood memories and obviously very good family memories now just from your participation in zoological activities.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why I love this. For me, a lot of it's, conservation, but also family. I love what I do.
I love that. You can just tell the passion in your voice when you're talking about Florida Aquarium, and we barely even started, so that's great. So speaking of that, can you tell the listeners a little bit more about your experience or what your work is in the Florida Aquarium?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I kind of alluded to, I actually started my career before I got to the Florida Aquarium. I started in a zoological facility in animal care, and I worked in that capacity for, at a few places around the country. And my passion's always been for animals and conservation, the environment, and as I mentioned, family. I was really excited to have the opportunity to come to the Florida Aquarium, and as Manager of Philanthropic Giving, my primary focus is connecting with businesses and individuals who share that same passion, who want to support our shared purpose to save marine wildlife. That really is what a lot of this boils down to is, our goal. We are a conservation-focused aquarium, and we want to save marine wildlife in tangible ways and in some of those more intangible ways, like educating the public and, through lots of different means. So, I am very passionate about that, and that is my primary focus at the Florida Aquarium is connecting with those that want to support that purpose.
And so the Florida Aquarium, it's not a theme attraction with animals. It's actually a nonprofit working to exhibit animals to educate the public, to give back to the community. That's the purpose.
Yeah, it is. Obviously it is a fun place to go, and there are incredible experiences to be had there. But it is a working nonprofit organization, a 501c3, and it is engaged in conservation, both there on site at the aquarium, and we also have an off-campus facility at Apollo Beach. Where we have, conservation efforts there too through coral restoration and sea turtle rehabilitation, and so the Florida Aquarium does quite a bit in that realm.
And that's great to hear that it's an organization that is giving back to the community. It like that's your purpose, and so that's wonderful. And not to disparage any other organizations that might display animals and make a profit, and there's nothing wrong with that. But your primary focus is, hey, we're here to give back to the community. That's our whole mission.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We are, an AZA accredited, organization and mission driven, purpose driven organization, and our shared purpose is to save marine wildlife.
Incredible. Now, you told us your journey in the zoological space started with animal care. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you did in animal care, and how did you transition from the animal care piece where you're interacting and maintaining these animals to where you're at today, where you're out in the community talking about the animals?
Yeah, I started, as a zookeeper and taking care of a variety of different animals, and then I started probably about 8 or 9 years ago, kind of making the transition over into doing some different elements more on the back end, like social media, some event planning, working in fundraising, and it was kind of a gradual transition from one into the other, and it's really wild. It's a very different headspace. Being around wildlife always felt really natural for me. I've always loved animals. At one point in time, when I was in school, when I was growing up, I had over 12 fish tanks. I had around 12 fish tanks.
Wow.
In my room, and different reptiles and things like that. And so I loved it. My mom hated the electric bill, but so going from that was always kind of a natural feeling for me. And then like working around dangerous animals, I was never really scared of that element of things. But then migrating over into, where, this type of environment, where I will absolutely stress about proper email etiquette and things, that scares me way more than the animals do. So yeah, it took some getting used to, but I love it. I love connecting with people, and I love being able to share my story and hear other people's stories, why they care, like growing up, and going to the aquarium, those types of things.
That's awesome. And so you definitely kept your passion. I mean, you stayed in the same realm, but very different positions. But you still kept your passion, because instead of just directly helping the animals and instead of directly interfacing with them, now you're still helping the animals, but you're helping them by getting awareness out, by protecting them in the wild with education, by helping to get companies to participate with you, both volunteer-wise and financially, so that you can help protect animals. So you stayed in the same lane, but just a different job.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what it's all about. That's, at the end of the day, this is, again, I'm going to sound like I'm beating a drum here, but it's about saving, marine wildlife.
How was the transition working directly from animals to being on the business side? We talked a little bit about it, but, what made you decide, you know what? I don't want to cut up food for the primates anymore this morning. I want to go in and talk to people about primates.
Well, if I had to dig deep, I'd say I've always had a bit of an entrepreneurial side. I enjoy the business world. I enjoy that kind of that spirit, that drive as well, and so I really enjoy engaging with people. I love talking to people like you. I love hearing why other people want to get involved, and so it kind of scratches a different itch, if you will, and ultimately that's just kind of the direction that I decided to go in.
That's great. Plus, I mean, with your position, I'm sure if you wanted to see the penguins, you could step down and still see them, right?
Well, it is really nice, if I need to get up and, walk around, a little bit, stretch my legs and walk away from a desk, I can, walk around the aquarium a little bit and just take a look at all the fish, and I love that.
that it is really a nice place. Most of us, when we take a stretch, it's in the neon lights of the cubicle farm, and you get to walk into a beautiful exhibit all over and feel like you're outside in nature, even on the stormiest day.
Oh yeah, there are incredible habitats there that are just wonderful to look at.
What is your favorite part about living and working in the Tampa Bay area?
I'd say the food and the cultural, organizations. I really love that I can take my family to so many different like museums and parks, and that we're just a short drive away from all the beaches and the nature trails. And so I think it's a really interesting fusion of a lot of different cultures, but also a lot of different opportunities, for so many different experiences that you can have here.
That's great. We've had other guests on the show this season, and they literally almost use the exact words. I don't know if you guys are sharing notes or something, but literally the nature, the fusion, the culture, all very significant parts of Tampa that are very unique. You don't see a lot of this in other places in the country. I mean, everybody has their own unique identity, but Tampa's it's a melting pot.
Oh, absolutely. And, being able to just hop over and go to the beach, or, just drive a little ways away and do a glass bottom boat ride, or, there's so many different types of natural experiences, but also city experiences that you kind of get the best of both worlds.
That's incredible. Anthony, tell me, what drives you? I can tell your passion for animal care is strong, whether that's physically caring for them or bringing awareness. But tell me, what drives you in the day? What gets up and wow, you had a successful day because you did this?
Well, the Florida Aquarium has, one of the best coral conservation programs and sea turtle rehabilitation programs, and those are, really, really important to me. I mentioned earlier I had, 12 fish tanks, growing up, and I really some of my earliest natural connections were with fish and aquatic environments. And so, I don't know, it's just something that's kind of deep inside of me. And I love that, I myself am not an expert in like coral or sea turtles specifically, but I love that I can help fulfill that purpose. I can help connect others with it, connect businesses or individuals with it, and drive, philanthropy and giving towards those really critical issues with the people who are experts, at the aquarium.
And that's important. Everybody thinks I have to be an expert to help in that field, but you don't. You don't know the exact diet of a sea turtle when it's being rehabilitated, but you do know how important it is to get the sea turtle the right protection and nutrition so that they can be rehabilitated. There's specialists for that one animal. And so that's very important that people realize when they do the kind of work you do. You don't have to be an expert in everything. You just have to know enough and help support the experts.
Exactly. And that's, one of the things where I feel like I can contribute is I can help support the people who are experts.
And you're doing that right now because, if there's an animal that needs to be cared for at 2 a.m. for an emergency, that person can't just get right back up in the morning first thing and record a podcast to ask for or to talk about the mission. They've got their function and you've got your function, but they're both very, very integrated.
Oh, absolutely.
Anthony, tell us, what is the most exciting new project you have heard of in the Tampa Bay area, whether it's like new developments or new businesses?
Well, I have to say I'm pretty excited about all the work going on over in the Ybor area. There's just a lot happening over there, and again, I'm not an expert on exactly everything going on, but I see a lot over there. I love hanging out over in Ybor. It's a really fun, space to go to, and so there's a lot of just exciting new businesses moving into that area and a lot of development going on over there. And so I'd have to say, I'm just generally pretty excited about it because I just love the Ybor area.
And the Ybor area is a trolley car ride away from the Florida Aquarium, and I'm not sure if you're familiar or not.
Yeah.
But and it's fun. The trolley car is really, really cool to go and see that.
I mean, the whole Channel Side district too is, I love getting over to Channel Side. And there's like a lot of great food over in that area. Again, me on food. That's something else I really love is to try different foods and hop around. So like Channel Side is great. There's so much good food over there. And then hopping on the trolley car, heading over to Ybor. There's a lot of good food over there, and so it's everything's just kind of building up and growing. And that area around the aquarium is really seeing a lot of growth there.
Yeah, the Water Street development has been incredible. The Riverwalk's been incredible. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure if you've heard, but they just recently announced that they're going to be developing a new section of Ybor right on the water, right on the channel there. It's almost, you'd probably be able to see it from your office, kind of that close. But that's just only going to further enhance the interconnectivity of the aquarium and the city.
Oh yeah, everything down there seems to be connected really well. It's is continuing to grow, and it's really exciting. All the work taking place over in that whole part of town.
Yeah, I can just imagine living down there, having your annual pass at the aquarium, and say, oh, you know what, this afternoon, let's just go see, the exhibits today. Because, every time you walk into the aquarium, the animals are in a different spot. There's always something different. It's really cool. Yeah. But the Florida Aquarium's done an amazing job at really, really integrating itself into downtown Tampa.
Oh yeah, well, lots just like grown, around it there, and it's a really great part of that part of town.
So, Anthony, in your opinion, what makes Tampa an attractive location for new development? Why are people coming to Tampa?
I think touching on what we kind of talked about before with kind of the fusion of a lot of, different elements of being so close to nature, but also, it is a rapidly growing city. I think in part, there's an incredibly diverse and talented workforce here, great universities and schools, and I think when you combine all those elements, great educated workforce, diverse group of people who have different backgrounds and different skill sets to draw on, it makes for a really attractive working environment.
That's incredible, and not to plug you guys too hard, but but the awesome zoos, aquariums, and museums that we have here that constantly get award-winning nominations for the entire country, not just our locality, but I know the Florida Aquarium has been named in top lists. The Zoo Tampa has been named in top lists. The Florida Museum of Art has been named in top lists. And so the philanthropy and the interaction with the community, I think that's huge too.
Oh yeah, of course. If you're going to start a new business and bring people in from around, bring workers in, from other parts of the country, it's important to have things for families to do and families to engage in those those kind of cultural touchstones and attractions. So I think that this community is great for that.
And those are the next generation of workers. I mean, and interact and people that donate. I like I just said, 30 years ago when the aquarium opened, I was there. And now you guys have my checking account on direct debit. And it's great, and I love it. I love seeing that charge into my bank account because you guys deserve it, and you guys do such incredible work.
Well, we're happy to have you, Tom.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the recent growth at the Florida Aquarium? It changed a lot in 30 years. I mean, it has, and it's been changing a lot just in the last 3 years.
We're on our 28th year, or going into our 29th year. But last year, the aquarium welcomed more than 1 million visitors for the first time in its 28-year history.
Wow!
So that was really incredible. Just speaking on growth.
Yeah.
And the aquarium's newest exhibit, Morphed, opened last year, featuring amazing animals that have adapted over time to survive, like axolotls, four-eyed fish, frogs camouflaged like bird poop, and fish that can spit and shoot their prey out of the air. There's some really it's really an incredible immersive gallery, and we'd love for people to check that out. The aquarium's $40 million expansion continues. The next phase will add a new outdoor exhibit featuring, for the first time on the west coast of Florida, California sea lions. And an African penguin habitat will also be part of that expansion. And then over at the aquarium's Apollo Beach campus, they just opened a new state-of-the-art 4,200 square foot Coral Conservation and Research Center, nearly doubling the existing space to breed and raise corals facing extinction in the wild and to help restore Florida's coral reef. So a lot happening and a lot coming down the pike.
That's it? I mean, that's all you've done? Wow, that's incredible. So I've taken my family to the morphed exhibit, and I've personally seen the archer fish, which I thought were really cool because it kind of exposes the tank. And I didn't know fish could shoot water out of their mouth into the air to hit their prey. That's insane.
Those, and I'm glad you narrowed in on those. Those are a really unique example of what's happening in the morphed gallery. Is that opportunity that they will actually shoot like a cricket off of a branch down into the water, so it falls down in the water. So they're just squirting that water like out of their mouth, knocking their prey down. Yeah, really incredible fish. Paddlefish are personally one of my favorite that are over in that gallery as well. Just another really unique fish that you really have to see to believe.
Yeah, and they have demonstrations and feedings and stuff that happen throughout the day. I've been to your guys' site. You used to have the paper maps. Now you got the cool digital ones where you can scan and see all the interactions and feedings that you're doing throughout the day when you go there, and you get to see this. Not just, this happens and here's a video, but you get to actually see it happening.
Oh yeah, and there's in that morphed gallery, there's interactive screens that you can see videos and see different elements of the animals that you're engaging with there, and it's especially for younger generations a really really cool feature that kind of brings things to a more modern, audience and what people are expecting.
Yeah, and when you say the bird poop frogs, did I get that correct?
Yeah, the bird poop frogs.
So I just imagine a sea of elementary school students going, ew! I bet that happens like 16 times a day, right?
I can only imagine.
But it gets them interactive. It gets them engaged. So you're not just, I remember sometimes going to the zoo or the aquarium, there's an animal, there's an animal, there's an animal. Florida Aquarium's really taking a different approach. You really want them to experience the wildlife, not just see the wildlife.
Oh yeah, it definitely connects you on a deeper level. It engages. It's a great experience.
That's incredible. And then you also have sea lions and penguins coming.
Yeah, so the with that expansion, that's going to be huge. I mean, that's the only way to put it. It's really exciting. Like I said, for the first time on the west coast of Florida, there's going to be California sea lions, and so people love sea lions.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I mean, I've seen them in the wild, but they're pretty cool to see them interact and to know that they'll be here in Tampa Bay, protected and getting to learn more about them. That's very exciting.
Oh yeah, I'm can't wait to see that.
That's exciting. Now let's also talk about your research facility in Apollo Beach a little bit. That doubling in size. I know a lot of people, this is a fun fact, and I stumped somebody at the Georgia Aquarium with this. But I said, did you know the Florida Aquarium developed the program to artificially breed coral in captivity? They're like, oh, we didn't know that. I'm like, yeah, that's my town. That's Tampa. So a lot of people don't know that you guys have a whole entire other campus down in Apollo Beach, and it's dedicated to research and rehabilitation. I mean, we're all familiar with the downtown Tampa campus, the actual show building where you get to see the animals, but most people don't even know that the Florida Aquarium has a whole nother aspect to it where you're aiding rescue efforts for turtles, where you're working on coral research that has had worldwide effects.
Absolutely, yeah. We work with... We do a lot of sea turtle rehabilitation, and then of course coral conservation and research, and that includes spawning coral there at the facility that eventually go out and are outplanted to help restore the coral reef here in Florida. Florida has the world's third largest coral reef, and of course it's it's experiencing a lot of things like bleaching and habitat loss there, where when the waters get overheated, and that's just become damaged over time. And so this, we're trying to do, our part to help restore that reef and help lead the way for that coral reef restoration.
And that in captivity breeding is still pretty new to us.
Oh yeah,
it's not something that's been around for 40 years and we're just doing. No, the Florida Aquarium is really leading in working on research for that and aiding other organizations.
Yeah, and we work with, it is a collaborative effort with a lot of partner organization, others using aquariums, other government facilities. So there is a lot of collaboration, and but really to just helping to reproduce several different coral species. And so, yeah, the work being done, by the Florida Aquarium, in this effort is really, really important to the coral reef.
And that's like a hidden gem of a fact. Most people don't know that. They just know of the pretty fish that they see. They see the turtle, they see the shark. They don't know that you're doing this amazing stuff behind the scenes, essentially. And that is open to the public. That research facility that most people don't know about. You can actually go down and tour that, right?
Well, you can go down and take a look. There are viewing stations for the sea turtles and some of the work going on there. We have a state-of-the-art veterinary hospital there, and so when folks go to the manatee, the TomCo manatee viewing station, they can take a nice walk over to the Florida Aquarium's Apollo Beach campus. And there's a little boardwalk around there, and you can check out some of the work going on out there.
And that's cool. And if you've never been down there, especially the TomCo Viewing Center, it's very Florida. Most people think of Florida as palm trees in Miami, but it is the mangrove and waterways. It's real traditional Florida. This isn't artificial. This is real. And you built a research facility right in real Florida. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a great location and a really fun place to check out. It's only open for part of the year to the public, so I think it's like November through April.
Okay,
it's open up to the public.
That's wonderful, and I'm sure all the details are on the website for that.
Oh yes, absolutely.
But people don't even think about that, and that's cool. Just another added value of what the Florida Aquarium does for our community, and we appreciate that. Can you tell me a name of a person or business that's kind of thriving in the Tampa Bay area right now?
When I started here, one of the first people that really engaged with me and that helped me in connecting with some different people here in the area was you, Tommy. And so again, not trying to pander, but I've been really impressed with just you as a person, and with the work that you do here in the area, and everything that that you're doing, and the way you're helping this community. And so your friendship and help and your support of the aquarium and me as a person has been, phenomenal. And I love everything you're doing and what you've got going on. So,
well, thank you very much for that. That is very heartwarming, because I know your mission. My mother's deceased, and when the aquarium was very important to her. It was always important to me as a child, and now I guess the aquarium's touched my life just like animals have touched yours. And so when I got the chance to know you and to know our passion for animals is similar. Now I'm probably more afraid of the animals than you would be, or at least more cognizant of keeping my hands away, whereas you might just be like, "Here, pick it up." I wouldn't do that. But it was very easy to support and introduce you, because you have such an amazing mission and your heart's in the right place. And when you meet people like you, Anthony, that just believe, the Florida Aquarium has a team of people like you, and I love that they seem to find these people with big hearts that just want to help, and that's incredible. So, Anthony, can you tell me how you see Tampa changing? You kind of mentioned the Florida Aquarium and all the huge growth it's got coming up over the years, and you probably got plenty more growth out there that's been in discussion boards that we won't know about for years. Can you tell us about how you might see Tampa changing?
Honestly, I see Tampa continuing to grow. When you've got this type of foundation and so many opportunities here in the area, I just see continued growth. And yeah.
That's great. People keep moving here,
they,
but you can't.
They certainly do.
You can't find a good snow shovel store here. I think that's okay though.
Yeah. I think we can pass on the snow.
So, Anthony, your job is to get out into the community and let them know about the Florida Aquarium, and to also solicit volunteers and donations, and really to help with community connection. And so you guys have developed something cool I was reading about called the Corporate Connect program. Can you tell us a little bit about that? It seems like an awesome way for companies to easily get involved with the mission at the aquarium.
Yeah, I love this program. It really is a very engaging business philanthropic program. And so that really is, my primary mission is my primary job description, I should say, is to engage with businesses and individuals on a philanthropic level and an engaging level, and that involves getting them involved with the aquarium. And Corporate Connect, it gives businesses the opportunity to do more than just donate. There's a donation element to the aquarium, a philanthropic element, but then through that program, we get them involved in beach cleanups or river cleanups, different types of community give back programs that drive employee engagement while also supporting, that shared purpose of our organizations. It allows their employees increased membership access so that they can visit the aquarium easier with their friends and their family, and so it's a great perk for everybody that works there. It allows them to engage and connect, and so there's other great perks and elements to the program. It helps to drive our shared purpose of saving marine wildlife, and it's really a really cool hybrid program, and always happy to talk with people about that if they want to get involved with it.
So that's amazing. So it's not just write us a check and feel good. That's not what the program is trying to accomplish. The program does need that donation facility, but you want to get other people involved in cleanups. You want to get the mission, the word out. You want to get the community involved in that. And you're doing that through informing companies and helping them to create things like, I think, volunteer days that they can work with you guys, and to do other cool creative purposes to not just get somebody's money and be like, thank you, bye. You're like, okay, here's all the cool stuff you have done based on donating. We really want your employees. We want their families. We want everybody to come and experience what's going on.
Absolutely. It is it creates that affinity. It creates that connection that, again, I keep using this term, but shared purpose. And it helps, bridge those connections between us and the organization, between both places and the environment. It's a really incredible and impactful program that goes kind of that step beyond philanthropy and into another level of engagement.
That's really cool. I really haven't heard of programs like that before, and I'm sure there's some out there, but what you guys are doing to create that engagement with the community is just outstanding. That's amazing. And it's for different sizes of companies too, right? It's not just a big bank that can come to you. This is smaller or medium companies that can work with you as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. We work with companies of various sizes, so we have opportunities at various levels, from small, medium, large, and anybody. There's always opportunities to engage, and anybody, any business of any size, we're happy to engage with and work with. And then, of course, we have individual opportunities as well. So, if that particular program, it isn't a good fit, we have other opportunities and other ways to engage as well.
That's wonderful, because there's a misconception that to support something as big as the Florida Aquarium, you need to be a $10 million business. And that's further from the truth. You can be a landscaping service. You can be a construction company. You can be a local restaurant. And you could still find some way, in some form, to work with and support the Florida Aquarium.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There are so many different ways to engage and get involved. And, that's what I love to talk to people about. And I'm, happy to connect with anybody, who wants to, learn how to get involved or discuss how they can give back and get involved and, again, help save marine wildlife.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you're reaching out to talk to our local business, because business is booming here in Tampa.
Oh, yeah.
And you're helping them. And I'm assuming in sometimes tax-deductible ways, support the aquarium.
Yeah, and absolutely. I definitely should have touched on that word as well. Again, with that Corporate Connect program or other ways to give, it's, these are tax-deductible opportunities.
That's incredible. Give your money to the aquarium, give your money to the government. That's your choice, whatever you'd like to do. Talk to your qualified tax attorney, and they'll help you make those decisions. Or talk to the Florida Aquarium. They'll help you make those decisions, too. So, Anthony, when we're kids, half of us at some point in our life, they want to grow up to work with animals. And that's just kind of a standard kindergartner answer. You grew up as a kid wanting to work with animals, and you actually did it. You went straight there. So, Anthony, can you tell me what are some tips from somebody that might want to be working in your industry, in animal care, in philanthropy, and conservation?
Take any opportunity that you have to do internships or volunteer, whenever it's possible, anywhere in the industry or anything that's, parallel. Getting hands-on experience is really important as much as you can, and creating connections, that goes a long way in any field. But, and I realize that like interning, volunteering, it's not always practical for everyone, but if you're able to, definitely do it. It's really good to get that hands-on experience as much as you can, especially if you're doing it while you're pursuing your education as well. Network and build as many connections as you can by attending events, discussions, seminars, whatever you can find on the topic. Make as many friends as you can. Learn to listen. I touched on a lot how I love to tell others why I'm passionate, but I also love to hear from others why they're passionate. They might also love the aquarium, but for completely different reasons, and that's really rewarding. And so I think it's really easy to, talk about yourself, and you should talk about yourself, but it's also really good to learn to take in what, the knowledge and the advice that others are giving you at the same time. And I think that's can go a long way to getting you into the animal field or getting you into the conservation field. And
that's great. And in almost every episode when we're talking about Tampa, volunteering comes up and networking comes up. They're big. And I tell every young entrepreneur that I mentor is you got to volunteer in something you're passionate about, and especially if it's a field you want to be in. In volunteering for something like an animal sanctuary, for example, doesn't mean you get to go in and play with the animals. A lot of times you're starting out, and I'm sure you've probably done this, right? You're cleaning the animal pen. There are no animals near you.
Yeah.
You're chopping up vegetables for something. You're never going to see the animal, or you might see it from afar. You have to start somewhere, but getting that level of experience, getting anything in an animal care facility and a local rescue, that helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You, whether you're talking about animal care or any field, any career field, you never or very rarely start with the quote unquote fun, elements.
You're not going to tote the monkeys around.
Yeah. Well, and
you're not going to pet the penguins.
Yeah. Well, and that's especially in animal care, it is you're not there to like play with animals. You're there to provide them proper care and a proper environment full of like good welfare, good animal welfare, and good animal care.
So, Anthony, we know volunteerism is important for trying to be in your position. To volunteer with animals is paramount. Or if you want to be in any other position, it's always try to volunteer in that sector. We talked a little bit about networking, and I imagine a lot of animal care experts, which you were at one point, probably didn't network a lot. Now you said you transition, you're on the other side where networking is almost brand new to you. So how integral has networking been to what you're doing now?
It's pretty critical, overall. It's good to make those connections, to find those people and engage with them, like, on a philanthropic level. You need to network with people and get to know people and find out what drives them, find out what their interests are. And it's definitely a critical part of the job.
And I'm sure you would agree, and it's important for our audience to know that networking is not sales. You don't go to networking events and say, I'm Anthony for the Florida Aquarium, write me a $5,000 check. You're not selling anything. You're really communicating and informing and telling people about the mission. And then the donations, the philanthropy starts to come after that.
Of course, yeah. It's all about, in a sense, it's making friends. And it really is, just getting to know people well and connecting with people on a human level, and finding out what drives them and, why they might be interested in, the purpose of the Florida Aquarium, that shared purpose.
Yeah, that's great. And that's every organization. Networking is so important. They should have a class about that in college. 'Cause I don't know about you. I was never taught about networking. Were you ever taught about networking?
No.
No, it's mission critical. Balancing a checkbook and networking. They need to add those to the schools. It's important. Anthony, can you share a success story or maybe a memorable experience from your work at the Florida Aquarium?
Yeah, there's a group of, I think it's 4 young girls who live in Connecticut, and they call themselves Team Turtle. And they had seen, they'd connected, I believe it was online, with some of the stories about our sea turtle rehabilitation efforts, and they were really moved by that. And so they've held various fundraising efforts on their own, asking for donations to that effort in lieu of birthday gifts. They did I think it was a turkey trot, like they organized their own little turkey trot. And these are girls who are in like elementary school doing this because they want to raise money and raise awareness for sea turtle rehabilitation efforts. And so that Team Turtle out in Connecticut, I really love that story. To me, that kind of connection and drive is awesome to see from, people of any age, but especially young kids.
Well, Team Turtle, this might be the very first podcast you were mentioned on, and I want to say thank you. We appreciate your efforts for helping the sea turtles here. And I'm sure if you ever come down that the Florida Aquarium will give you the best tour ever.
Absolutely. We actually, one of the members of Team Turtle just came down around Christmas, and we actually did give her a tour, and she got to see connect with the team over there, and that was a really fun experience.
It really goes to your mission, and I don't want to harp on this too much, but it goes to your mission that you guys engage with the community. You seriously take that initiative to put yourselves out in the community. You're a member of our community. You're not just here to showcase a product. You want to be part of us. That's so beautiful that the Florida Aquarium is so integrated into Tampa. I really love what you guys do with that.
Thank you. I love it too. It's an incredible organization.
So relationship building, it's super important in your industry. A lot of people, they're selling a product. I sell a kitchen. You sell a house. You sell a hammer. And you get something tangible, immediate, and it's a transaction where you exchange goods and services, right? You are selling conservation, essentially. You're selling education. You're selling our future. You're trying to get people to invest in the future. And so relationship building has to be very, very important to you. Do you have any guidance on how you built or nurtured relationships?
I think probably the best guidance I could give, and this is kind of going back to like what you were talking about earlier too, with teaching a class on networking and how kind of important that is, because it's in the same realm of I think something that a lot of people just don't innately realize or know, or that nobody tells you, is just how important it is to stay in touch, to just reach out to somebody, grab lunch, grab coffee, keep a really positive attitude. with people, and just, if that's probably the best advice I could give, is just stay in touch, and just don't, even if it's, with friends too, even if it's not somebody that's directly involved in, what you're doing, keep in touch with your friends and your other relationships that you have in past jobs or other industries, or, and that helps keep your, kind of your support or your safety net strong.
I love that. And I always like to try to keep a personal element to it. Like I might say, oh, how's the wife's new job? How's your kid adjusting to their new school? Little things what I'm genuinely interested in, but that helps with building relationships, doesn't it? Just don't, how are you doing today? And then move on to, I've got this new package to sell you. No, it's more about, how are you doing today? And take a second to listen and engage and genuinely take interest.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
So going further into building relationships, you're new to Tampa. You've built a lot of relationships in a short period of time. Are there any groups out there that you maybe want to shout out that have helped you develop relationships in the area? Yeah,
I've had the good fortune of meeting a lot of wonderful people here in the area, and specifically a couple different organizations, but the Bay Area Bridge Builders I think is a really cool group that's who has a goal of kind of connecting businesses with nonprofits, and as their name suggests, kind of building that bridge between kind of the corporate world and the philanthropic world. And so I think that's a really neat, really neat effort that they're doing. And I've met some really wonderful people over there.
That's great. The Bay Area Bridge Builders are excellent, and I love their mission. It's not to go fund, it's not to collect, it's not to educate, it's to connect, and to put organizations like yours in touch with other organizations who might not have otherwise met each other.
Yes, it's been really great from that front.
That's phenomenal, and I'm really glad that you shouted them out, because I have a passion for them. I really love what they do and what they've managed to accomplish here, and they're only getting bigger, and I'm really happy that the Florida Aquarium has found a good partner with them, a good communicator with them. So.
Yes, I've had a lot of fun going to some of their different events and connecting with like-minded people.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm so glad to see that you're really diving into Tampa. Pun intended.
Yeah, I know. Wait, I apologized at the front, but we really haven't done as many.
We haven't. What's going on? Maybe they can edit some in.
Yeah. I don't know. That might be a little fishy.
Spufficious. So we talked a lot about what people can do with the aquarium, but is there anything else, any advice you have for individuals or organizations that are looking to support the Florida Aquarium through philanthropic giving?
Well, if anyone wants to make a donation, I mean, the easiest way to do it is to go to the website under our Get Involved tab. And you can make a direct donation. You can set up a monthly gift as well. That's a wonderful way to stay involved, by just giving, $5, $10, $20 a month. Or you can reach out to me directly. We've got some exciting and fun donor opportunities I didn't even get a chance to get into. Please reach out to me directly. I'm always happy to, grab coffee or lunch, and get to know somebody better and see how, we might be able to connect.
That's cool, and I happen to know personally when you do give a little bit, even the smallest amount, you get on your cool newsletter, and every so often I get to see the cool happenings at the aquarium. Sometimes before the general public even knows, you guys will give little tips or hints or stuff coming out, and you do a really good job of keeping people engaged, and so it's just another cool benefit that you get just by contributing, even like you said, $5 a month, every little bit.
Oh yeah, yep, absolutely.
So, Anthony, this is the wind down portion of our show. We like to be a little funny. Do you, I hear you might have a little funny joke for me here today.
Yeah, well, I know you like construction jokes, but I've got maybe a fishier joke for you today.
I love it. I'm excited.
All right. So why don't fish do well on tests?
I don't know why.
Because they're below sea level.
Again, we apologize to our audience. No, you're welcome. Our audience, you're welcome for that amazing joke. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Tommy. I loved being here today, and yeah, this was a lot of fun. Thank you.
That's great. And we love the mission of the Florida Aquarium. Thanks for a job well done, Anthony. Thank you so much for joining us on Tommy's Toolbox, the podcast. If you have any questions about my company, TomCo Solutions, the construction industry, or real estate investing in Tampa, please be in touch or visit tomcosolutions.com. My contact information is in the episode description, and I'll put Anthony's there as well. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, thank you again. I look forward to seeing you at the construction site for the next episode of Tommy's Toolbox, the podcast. Have a great day, everyone. Hi, everybody. Tommy Whitehead here. Have you heard about my book, Building Success, A Toolbox to Coming Out on Top? It's already been on the Amazon best-selling list. So scan that QR code on your screen or go to Amazon or any major retailer to get your copy today. I can't wait to hear what you think. So leave a comment below or leave a review with your thoughts.